Thank you so much, Coach, for your time. Colleagues, we've got Coach Manqoba Mngqithi from Golden Arrows. Coach, your thoughts on the 90 minutes?
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. I think the game came out very close to what we anticipated. It's just that the change of personnel on people that we were hoping they are going to start the match. But nonetheless, I think we had a very good start. We put them under a lot of pressure with our high press. I think there we should have at least maybe had 2 goals from those situations. But unfortunately, we did not take those chances up until we got one, which is very identical to the one that we got at the end as well. So, but credit must also be given to Chiefs. I think after 20-25 minutes of first half, we suffered. They were coming at us. They created a lot of good moments, and the goal they scored, we looked very, very bad defensively. Because when Gaston gets the ball in that area, already our 8 has been drawn to the opposite side of the pitch. There is so much space, and he finds a nice vertical pass that caused a lot of problems for us. I was not happy with that. Then, fortunately, at halftime, I had to make changes to ignite the fire, because immediately after we scored, we started dropping and giving Otele much space and time to be able to switch play to Lilepo, to Solomons, and the game started to look clumsy because now we were covering long distances. Then second half we improved on that. We realized that we needed a bit of tempo in the midfield, and that's when we brought a Zuke and a Kobedi at a later stage. Must say the young boy that we brought at right back was a forced substitution because Lukele was injured. But I was very happy with Maxwele. I think he played an exceptional game. In my opinion, maybe if he started the game, he could easily be amongst the contenders for the man of the match, because I think he was very instrumental in tiring Lilepo up and giving us more possibilities to go forward. Our second half was very strong. Again, we got good chances. The first one with Van Roy. The second one, I think it was Maxwele, unfortunately, not taking the best decision after beating Ndwandwe, going for just one touch, and after that a lot of cutbacks that were cut. I think boys could have easily given us another goal if he had just looked at and seen where Knox was. But overall, I think it was a brilliant performance, and I was happy with the mentality because the team fought and tried very hard to make life difficult for the opponents.
We'll take questions.
Sawubona Mqeqeshi, sakhalalisa Mngqobeni. Mqeqeshi, bengibuka i-podcast this week ukuvezela ukuthi yini oyilindele kwi-Chiefs, and mesibheka igame kwenzeke the same thing obuyilindele, and kule season usushayela 3 Kaizer Chiefs. Mhlawumbe ungasho ukuthi ku-4 yebo. Saxolisa phezulu.
Noma wathatha uqinisile.
Umbuzo wami ukuthi Mqeqeshi, ngabe sekulula ngaleyo ndlela manje ukuthi kulungiselele i-Chiefs, because a week, not even days, a week, you spoke about it nesingayilindele namhlanje and yenzeke. You're excited that?
I wouldn't say it is because it's that easy. I think that sometimes we, as coaches, we have a responsibility to spend a little bit more time in understanding what the thinking of the coaches is and what has worked for them and what has not worked for them, and maybe to drive the narrative of how you would want them to come at you, because sometimes the information that you share out there is in the public domain. and maybe you are trying to scare them not to go that direction because you want them to not to use maybe some of their best weapons because they are thinking that you already know everything. But the truth in football is that even if you were to know that Lionel Messi is left-footed and he's going to go to his left foot, it's the level of training and the mentality of the opponents and the understanding of tactics and maybe the structure being respected, because the goal that we considered, it was just one of those few moments where structurally we were imbalanced, because Gumbi, who played very well on the left channel, when he saw the ball played beyond Dlamini and Ndwandwe, he jumped to try and assist them. And when the ball was rotated to the other side, to Gaston, then it became very difficult for him to react. So it's not that it is that easy, but it's better when you know the composition of the team.
Coach, Mngiqthi from Israel. Coach, some of us didn't know what to say Maxwele or Kobedi from AM. Mhlawumbe the process usungathole kanjani ukuthi yini oyiphendele kubona eThekwini?
I did not know how we got them. But I was happy to have them. But as to how it happened, the mechanisms I cannot tell you. But the truth is, it's pleasing to have them. You know? I don't know. I was not part of the process, you know. No, they are brilliant players. They are going to add value in our squad. Even Sithole could have played today, but we felt physically we had put him under a lot of stress in the last 2 weeks, few days maybe, where we were really pushed most of these boys to the limits, because we're trying to improve the condition of the team so that they can play this very intensive game, because they were not used to it. So we felt we might lose a player with such big muscles if we stretch him into a game of this intensity, and that's why he was not in the team. But we are very happy to have him as well.
Afternoon, Coach. Lusande here from Soccer Like Doma. I just want to ask you 2 questions. Firstly, on the boys in Ndwandwe, he's been one of the most consistent players in the league this season. How close do you think he is from like a national call-up, a national selection, be it like Kosafa or like with Hugo Bruce's side? And just on your troops in the second half, they came out a little bit more organized and also like quite lively in some of their drills. What would you say? What was said to them at half time to sort of get them out there to believe that they can claim all 3 points?
First, with Boise, I rate him very highly. The way I rate him, I think he could easily play for any team in this country. And it's not something that I've only seen now that I'm working for Golden Arrows. I think if you can speak to him, he knows how much I've always wanted to have him around. But unfortunately, at times these things don't happen the way you want. I believe he's a national team material. And I will try the best I can to also speak to Hugo, just to look at him, because I honestly think he is in a class of his own, strong defensively, very powerful offensively, very intelligent. If you saw the first chance where he played the ball to Sibia, that was a very difficult pass. And that could have easily created a goal in the early stages of the game. For me, he's an exceptionally gifted player, and I've used him in different roles. Against Sundowns, I used him to take care of Ribeiro from the half space, and he dealt with him very, very well. And today, in the game against Polokwane City, I used him on the side of Apolis, and he dealt with him very well. And in fact, even against Mngqithi, it was a big loss for me not to have him. I think he's a very, very good football player. I rate him very high. It will surprise you that I rate him more than the players that you think they are better than him.
And at halftime, coach.
No man, I had a go at the team at halftime because I was unhappy, and my unhappiness was not because I thought the game was beyond us, but what I said, I said to them, sometimes I just get frustrated because, and it was not the first time I told them, I just get frustrated when I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. You know, because I think I rate these boys very highly, and I believe they can do far more than what they've done. But sometimes they are caught up in that default setting of wanting to do what they've always done in the past. When after scoring, after good moments, they want to sit back and give opponents a chance. If you remember how many balls were switched to Lilepo, which even resulted in a penalty, which I'm not sure it was, and another switch, that the switches that were played to Solomons and Caston on our left channel, and that was as a result of us putting our foot off the pedal. And second half, I was very strong in demanding what we had trained, what we had done in the starting minutes of the game. And I must say that I was very impressed with how they came out, because there was a lack of belief. Even at halftime, I could see that they are not sure that this game is still within them. And if you look at the number of chances they created, this game could have ended up in a completely different scoreline.
Hey coach, congratulations on the victory. The team has not taken part in the top 8 competition for a while. I think I don't remember when it was the last time they were.
No, they have.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were beaten by us by Sundowns in the semi-finals. So let's not take away the good work that they've done before.
Okay, coach. Okay, but I just wanted to ask, is that the main thing that you're setting your sights on? I think you have climbed up a bit, if I'm not mistaken. 10.
Yeah. I don't put such targets on the team, because then you make it very abstract. I always focus on the game that I'm going to play and try to give them the information that I think will be sufficient for them to win that match, because the process will take care of itself. What we have to do tonight is to make sure that we just stick to the process of trying to get maximum points. And I was very unhappy in the game against Mngqithi, because I think they were cheated. We had a very bad first half, I must be honest, but our second half again was stronger. Then I want to win the next match, and the next match is also going to be as difficult, if not even more, against Chippa. So my responsibility as a coach is to prepare for one match at a time, and hopefully that will culminate into the team achieving whatever they might achieve if they collect as many points as possible.
Coach, we're taking the last 2.
Thank you.
Coach, can I ask for your opinion on Knox? There's a lot of talk about all-time goal scorers, your Peters, Daniel Mambush, but Knox has gone quietly about his business, the all-time top goal scorer at Golden Arrows, if I'm not mistaken. What does that say about his longevity as well?
He's another boy that I've always been fond of. And if I can tell you the secret, there is a striker that I signed. If I could not sign that striker in another team, I would have signed Knox, because he was number 2 in my list of strikers that I thought are potent enough to cause problems. But I also don't think he believes in himself as much as I do. because sometimes he commits elementary mistakes that are not for his level. He can commit an elementary mistake now and give you a world-class situation immediately after that. And that for me is what I was even talking to the coaches now, that we have won the game, but I'm still having this element of unhappiness within me because I just feel we are too wasteful. I just feel we sometimes take decisions that you just don't understand where that one comes from. And Knox, in my opinion, is a better striker than many so-called big strikers.
Coach, you talk about being wasteful, and Ndwandwe looked like he was also wasteful. I mean, all the time when he get into his nice position, but in terms of that final pass, it seems to be a problem. What do you think you need to do for him to keep it sharp? Because you can see that he's trying, he's getting into the position like we saw with Ndwandwe, I mean, for the cross for the second goal.
I don't want to be too hard on Ndwandwe because for me he is just work in progress. He reminds me of how we transformed Richard Henikane before, because the good thing that I must commend, and I appreciate it a lot, is that he gets himself in these positions more often than probably all the other players that we have. And the responsibility now lies with us as coaches to make him believe he's got far more to deliver than what he does, because I just think he plays with so much nerves, and usually it's when somebody knows he's got a limitation somewhere. Maybe he's not sure about his first touch, he's not sure about his finish, he's not sure about his passing game. But the moment he starts to believe, he starts to see himself as this player that can turn things around, you will be surprised that in the next few matches, maybe he's the one who will score 5-6 goals for us. So I'm a little bit patient with him, because these very quick players sometimes have got tendencies of not focusing on the action, but already going beyond what is happening. Sometimes when you do passing drills, you can see that he's no longer looking at the quality of the pass that he's playing, because he's already thinking about where he's supposed to run to, because his game is the race to make sure that I get there on time, more than concentrating on the fundamentals, which is to make sure that the pass from me gets to my teammate. And I saw a big improvement in his game against Polokwane City, but unfortunately, I think it's one of those case studies that we must just be patient with, because I think he's got a lot of potential.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for your time. Thank you, colleagues.